Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Pendarvis Harshaw. I'm here today hosting a podcast for Pops, brought to you by Dad's Evoking Change, which is a nonprofit helping men navigate the family legal system. Today, I'm joined with a longtime brother I've known for over 2 decades, Dempsey, a brother from the Bay, raised in San Francisco, spent a lot of time in the East Bay as well. Looking forward to talking to you about your family, your legacy, and also your experience with the family legal system and how you navigated it. But before we get started with anything, man, I just want to start off by sharing with the world and like bringing something up that was a battery put into my back when I was in middle school, man. It was some words that your father passed to you that you then spread to me. It was about the importance of focusing on your work inside the classroom and then having the ability to be goofy on the playground and just knowing there's a time to be serious and a time to play. And that, as a middle schooler, stuck with me and helped me navigate all the way through college, you know? So I want to, 1, appreciate that, and 2, ask you a little bit about who your father was.
Nice. Well, my father was a very serious man. My father was a high dignified man that took care of his business. Had he been here today, that'd be the number one thing he wanted me to tell you is that, man, he handled his business. You know what I'm saying? Especially for his kids. I say kids because I got 2 little brothers too, you know what I'm saying? But coming up young, oh man, that man didn't play about me. He definitely didn't. And he showed with his actions. He spoke very powerful, but his actions was everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know.
What was his name?
Stephen Dempsey, you know what I'm saying? Gary Dempsey. But you know, for where we from, you know, they call him Demps. Or California, you know what I'm saying? California, Denmac, you know, Pop's got many things, many different flavors of how he do his thing. You know, we from the Bay, you know, from California, so, you know, that's just how you do it when you're out here.
Where'd you grow up specifically, and what was it like growing, like he raised you?
Yeah, Pops, you know what I mean? Well, early, you know, 0 to about 5, you know, I was with my mother and my grandparents, you know, primarily in the Modesto area, you know, and in San Francisco. My grandparents was one of the first black families to own a beauty supply and beauty salon in San Francisco. They were the first ones to have a connected business, top 2-story business like that. So,
Dang.
you know, built several churches in the city. You know, my grandparents were fixtures, man. Like heavy fixtures, you know.
That's Pop's parents.
No, this is my mama's parents.
Okay,
you know?
gotcha,
So this is who I was with, you know, 0 to 5.
Gotcha.
You know, moms and them in between them too. You know what I mean? Because obviously, you know, it was the early '80s. No, excuse me, the late '80s, early '90s, and you know, things were what they were. You know what I'm saying?
All too familiar.
Yeah, making them comebacks. So, you know, while things were, you know, kind of going downhill, you know, my father made a conscious choice to, you know, decided, you know what, hey man, you know, my son, you know, my kid is more important than any party and anything going on. And I need to step it up. I need to, you know, kind of check myself and get back on the ball for not only my son, but my family. Cause, you know, he was a big uncle and he was a beloved uncle, you know, with all of us. He grew up with, you know, the older guys and brought that game down to the younger generation, which was thriving at the time and they were leading. So, you know, Pops, you know, went on ahead and, you know, kind of cried to me and told me one day, he was like, I'm coming to get you, son. I remember being at my Auntie Dottie's house and, you know, I'm like maybe 4 or 5. And he like, I'm coming to get you, son. And I didn't really know who he was like that early.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really know that was I knew that was my dad, but I didn't know what a dad was. I didn't know, like, you know, you young, you know, you're not paying attention to these titles or what's going on. He just tripping on me. You know, I'm coming to get you, son. All right.
I'll be ready.
Yeah, you know, I'm a youngster, man. For sure. I'm trying to go outside and go get on this, you know, trampoline or something. Or I'm trying to go outside and play with my cousins. Because, you know, my older cousin, which is like a brother to me, you know, that was his mama's house.
Gotcha.
Dottie was his mama, things like that. So, yeah, man, you know, Pops decided to go ahead and, you know, kind of take things to the legal side. You know, after some choice conversations and misactions and things on the other side. And, you know, hey, he just felt like he could provide a better overall environment for me. Although, you know, if I tell you the truth, I mean, my mama's side of the family had the better environment. Mm. My mama's side of the family, for sure. My grandmother and my grandfather, man, for sure. Mm-hmm. But it's not about who they are. It's about the parents that are on mention.
Gotcha.
It's to you and her. It's to him and her, him and moms. You know, my mama was solid.
Yeah.
My mama was solid, extra solid. My mama loved me. Mm-hmm. Did everything for me. You know what I'm saying? Checked me when I was wrong. Wouldn't hesitate to, you know, handle her business on me for sure. But it just was a different energy when a dad has that lock in with his son, like that, has that relationship with his son, or wants to build that. It comes back tenfold later, but I'm gonna let you go into the next thing.
No, that's why I wanted to introduce this whole conversation with context of knowing who you are, your family, specifically this relationship that you have with your father, and how it has poured into you and created you as the young man that you are today, and the father you are today. And I mean, explicitly asking, like, how did that example of your father raising you pour into you as a father?
Man, first and foremost, again, the seriousness. I done said it twice. You know, that man didn't play. You know, 34-year-old Pops, Versace Pops, that's like a label. That's the thing in my head, is where he would show up to the school, to the principal office. Mind you, my daddy was a fixture, so he knew everybody. He knew the principals, he knew the security guards, he knew the teachers. If you didn't know the teachers, you was going to know him, because he walking through smelling like Versace, in Versace, with the curl going.
Okay.
He looking like money.
Right.
He ain't playing. My partners know who he is. Hey, Gary, your daddy here. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man, you know what I mean? So you gotta be where you're supposed to be, because that's who he was. He wasn't playing no games. So that alone right there for me was enough to be like, okay, well, all right, I see how I'm supposed to do the father thing. Like, that's action. When your friends see your dad and they nervous, they like, oh, hey, how you doing, Mr. Dempsey? Hey, how you? Yep. Have I seen him? You know he in class doing what he supposed to do. Your partner sticking up for you? Yeah, that to me, that was like, okay, that's what I want. That's who I want to be to my son.
It's an awesome example. It's an awesome example of one of I'm sure one of the many examples that you have in your head. But
right. Well, quickly to say this too. You know how hard times breed, you know what I'm saying, strong people. You know what I'm saying? And Pops, you know, unfortunately didn't have his dad all his life. You know what I'm saying? His father left out his life, you know, I want to say around 10 years old, 6 to 10 years old. And so he longed for that. And so in return, becoming a dad, you know, that was why, you know, becoming or being that father presence was more important than any party and any other thing that he can think of. And I appreciate that, because that strong man created a very strong person in myself, you know, let's say that.
I can relate to that. Growing up without my father, now having the ability to have a daughter who I'm present for, like, yeah, it's because I went without. You know, I know the importance of being there. Your son, how old is he?
Pop is 11. Yeah, that's what we're gonna call him a nickname. We're gonna call him Pop.
Pop is 11. What is he like?
Oh man, he's a ball of energy, very vibrant young man. You know what I'm saying, Mister. You know, attempt everything and is good at everything. I tell him all the time. It's like, son, you got the blue light. You know, like your granddaddy, like your daddy had, man. Like your daddy got. You know, whatever you do, son, you really good at it. You want to dance, you was good at the dancing. You know what I'm saying? You know, when he was doing the little Atlanta thing, I don't know what they call all that. You know, Ayo and Teo and them, you know, he's doing all of that.
Okay.
And then, you know, hey, you know, you wanted to draw, you could draw. You know what I'm saying? You wanted to play ball, you playing ball. He playing ball. He's not playing.
Yeah,
and
tournaments.
Like, right. And I'm amazed. I'm a fan. I'm such a fan that, you know, half the time I forget that I'm cameraman at the time, or I'm just Pops being here at the time. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just marveling in this beautiful creation. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow. I didn't know that, you know, with belief, you know what I'm saying, what is possible in a youngster. So it's very warm to watch him and just grow and just expand as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's beautiful, bro.
Nice. Poetically put, man. This time spent with them. You have him full-time custody, correct?
Yeah, full legal and physical custody.
What did it take to get there?
Well, it took me being who I needed to be for the situation the first time. Let's just say that, because you go through a first ring, okay? And that's not something that just comes, you know, the minute you go file for that the first time. No. All right. It took me to then agree to do whatever was necessary for him in his lively circumstances. So whether that had been child support, whether that had been just agreeing to the terms of what was going on first, you got to be a parent that shows that you about the betterment of the child first over everything. Has nothing to do with the other party. Speaking of the party has zero impact on what's happening, what's going on. Because you got to show him first. If he ain't convinced, they ain't convinced. That's a fact.
Right.
So, you know, Yeah, to that point.
Start with self first.
Yeah, you gotta start with self. You know what I'm saying? And then, to kind of move into the other pieces, it gotta be a lack of something happening on something. You know what I'm saying? Like, once a party of any kind starts to get in the way of dreams or the livelihood of the child, say the child wants to play soccer and, one of the parents just don't agree with the soccer game or agree with the soccer schedule. Okay, well, now this becomes a big deal because it's like, this is not about y'all. Y'all grown.
Yeah.
Y'all have a job. And the job first is take care of family. Family being your child should be number one. You know what I'm saying? So whether this soccer game is important to you or not, you got to be there. And you got to be there with pom-poms. You got to be there with flags. Man, you got to be there holding it down or you ain't really who you supposed to be. Unfortunately, that's just what it is. So, it starts, the secondary thing starts with that. And then, negligence to, get person to school or something. Like I had a situation with a friend of mine where he won his, custody battle over, parent being right down the street from the school. Kid late every day. Kid got 20 tardies.
So that shows that the parent is at fault. And yeah, okay, I got you.
You're not taking care of your business. Nobody care about what you're talking about. It's action, man. People look at results, man. So you got to really, like I said, you got to really live that. You got to be that. You got to represent that. And you must be, I want to say, near perfect. You got to be near perfect when it comes to your actions and with your decision making. My son has never been hurt while with me, although he plays all the contact sports in the world. I train him. It's on his Instagram. It's on mine. He's never been in a physical, problem of any kind. He feels the most safest with his father. And I mean, he should, right? I'm the man in his life, right? Mm-hmm. But it's a fact that he feels the most safe with his father. These type of things, man, you need established in order to be, a full custodial parent, because it's not just with the court system, it's also with the child. The child's going to get an opinion. This is what you got to know.
Right. It's like there's this, what I'm imagining is that there's this two-dimensional document world in terms of parenting, but then there's the physical, what's happening in reality. And that's what you're saying is like set the tone in the reality sense first.
Mm-hmm. Right, 100%. You got to set the tone in the reality sense first, knowing that the paperwork is following.
Yeah.
You got to know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just think that, these people are going to just go ahead and say, you know what, we trust that you're going to be who you need to be because several fathers before you have done the same. Yeah, but what's the percentage of that? So why are you part of this 1% that can get this type of job done? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you can hear that in a person. You get strength in a person, leadership, qualities of a man. You can hear that the qualities of a woman, of a mother. You can hear that in a person. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You also can hear the lack of it.
Gotcha. Okay. Bring me back to your specific cases. What was the first one? How many times have you gone to family court, and what was the first experience like?
Twice. The first time was I called it was like a storm hit you because you're not ready for that emotionally. That's the most scary situation you could be in when you may walk in and you may not see your child no more. Somebody could slam a gavel when it's over. It's like going to jail. It's like going to pen in my eyes.
Damn.
Yeah, so my bad.
How did you prepare?
Game. I had my daddy. Wow, beautiful question. I had my daddy, bro. That was everything. See, I told you in the prior conversation to the interview, we was talking about how my father on the turf helped many parents get their kids back. I spoke about this at his funeral, you know what I'm saying? God rest his soul, you know what I'm saying? But he left a lot for us, for sure. Pops was in my ear, man. Hey, look, when you go in there, make sure that you keep your things together. Make sure you're not focused on the person. You need to be talking about your child and the importance of why it's going to be better for the child to be in your environment. You misstep this, you lose everything. You don't have much time. You don't have much of a voice. And I just knew it was sometime when Pop spoke. It'd be, you get different people out of my dad. But when he spoke about these type of things in the seriousness that he did, it wasn't time for opinion or reply. We call that in my family, we call that, that segment, this is for listeners.
This is for listeners.
Yeah, when ENT say that, man, this is for listeners. You shut you shut up. You know what I'm saying? Okay. You attention up. You're like, okay, all right.
Noted.
Because that's going to come back. and you know it.
Yeah, this will be on the test.
It's gonna come back. And the test is life.
Yeah.
So when this is for listeners and catch the balls and all that start going on, all that lingo, that Bay Area lingo start going on, you pay attention a little harder.
Gotcha.
Because you know that gym is in there. So Pops, help me understand, how to approach it. How to make sure that make sure I'm presentable, man. My daddy taught me how to wear a suit. Most powerful thing you could teach your kid, man. How to wear a suit. Moms, teach your daughter how to wear a dress. You know what I'm saying? My father taught me how to wear a suit, so I walked in there like a dignified, young, strong black man. So I didn't look like it was not only a struggle, I didn't look like I was trying to show you what I had in my pocket either. But I definitely look serious.
Gotcha. Yeah, presentation, that's part of it. That's
right. Multiple times I've said that, about this, about Pops. He was very serious, So, that's what I can think of, just that experience is just, walking in and knowing that, man, you almost do anything they ask you to, because if we stem into the situation of mediation, as I was, kind of speaking to in a prior conversation, that mediation, my first time happened on the day of, this is 2012.
Sorry, can you pump the brakes real quick? Yeah. Mediation, what does that mean?
Okay, so when you're in a court battle or a custody battle or a legal battle of any kind, you got to have a session of mediation with the other party, all right, with the defending party. And in that mediation, y'all, it is given a chance for you guys to agree on terms to where, one, you can start to, kind of get back to where normal life is for the new situation, or, y'all can agree to disagree and, hey, we're going to fight it out to the bitter end, and whatever it lies, it lies.
Gotcha.
But now you're allowing other folks or the other folks to make a decision on your life and your kid's life. And they not think about you. They thinking about the bag.
So this is an opportunity to settle out of court, essentially.
It's in a way, because yes, in a way. It's a settle out of court, yes, in a way.
Gotcha.
Yes, it is.
Without the court weighing in.
Yeah, to a certain extent, because it's just another side, like child support.
Okay.
Because just like once that's determined, now we go into the child support.
Gotcha. So it would be, we agreed on these terms, but now we have to go in front of this.
Now we got to have another conversation.
Got you. Okay. And if you don't agree on these terms, then you do go to court.
For that particular, last couple of terms you got to agree on. And if that happens to not work out, then the judge going to rule, and she going to rule based on how she feeling or he feeling.
All right. And so the process of getting a lawyer, did you have a lawyer? How'd you find that lawyer, and what was that experience like?
Okay, so yes, always had a lawyer. Always have a lawyer present, and because you need lawyers for many different things, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to have lawyers for your taxes. You got to have lawyers for your finance stuff. It's a lot of different pieces you need your lawyers and representation for. You should have lawyer friends, right? In business, you mingle and twine with a lot of people, so you definitely should come across a few lawyers or somebody who practice, law. To ask questions to, and if you haven't, then I would challenge you to to get out a little more and to meet more people and be more outgoing, because the relationships in life is everything. Mm-hmm. Prior conversation we were just having right now is just how important relationships is and where that game come from, because this is for listeners moment, like we spoke to before. But yes, had a lawyer. I actually didn't have the lawyer that I used in my case. I actually decided to go find a different level of representation, because I don't know, man. I love my lawyer, but I just didn't want to take no chances, bro. I'm going right in.
So you had a second opinion?
Yes, I did. I had a second opinion on how I felt, and I just, I'm an energy dude.
Got you.
I'm a leader. I could feel leadership around me. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a small man, I could feel it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I also think strategy when I'm doing things. So I want this little game right here. So 9 times out of 10, judge gonna be a lady. Okay, she's gonna be a female. So it might be in your best interest to get a female lawyer, because now you got the female lawyer talking to the female judge going against the female defendant. Now it's women talking to women and the man out of it. You understand? So that's some game. But that's just all of how you want to set it up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that just was me. I just was like, look, man, I want to make sure that there's no bias in here, because what people don't understand is that your voice isn't your voice in a court of law type of system, okay, or arrangement. You don't get that. You don't get to speak. You don't hire a lawyer and then you get your turn and you get to just slam everything you want on the table. No. your lawyer speaks for you. You get to say 0 at the time of the case, and you and that lawyer understanding better be 1,000% solid, or you will be misrepresented, and you will be mad at the result that you are paying this enormous amount of money for. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to understand energies, and important to have those relationships. I just know how to pick certain people because I'm a shark myself. So if you're not a shark, then I can't get down with you. I'm really Dame Dash in my mind.
Got you. But that ability to it all boils down to, in my mind, it boils down to the playground. Mm-hmm. We look around the room and you see the abilities of the people around you, and you say, okay, right. I know that this person, 1, connects with me, mm-hmm. and 2, can speak to the situation and to all the parties involved.
100%. Yes, you do. And that takes time to really get to know somebody. You know what I'm saying? You got to really go interview them like you're interviewing for a job, or therefore you are interviewing them as an employee.
Gotcha.
You got to go do that. Now, I've been in business, like I've been in here for 18 years. So all I do is hire people. I got 2-3 doctors on my list. You got to think about it. I'm sitting next to my partner that's an Emmy Award winning, you feel me? So, man, you got to understand my relationships and my tie-ins is A1.
Right.
So when I need some game or I need something, I need to touch base with somebody, I pick up a phone. Mm-hmm. If you don't got that ability, then you need to be out there doing your homework. You need to be out there qualifying or disqualifying people. That's the best I can give you.
That's life lessons. We're not even just talking fatherhood right now. We're talking about life.
Right. But this is what I was taught.
Right.
I'm watching movement. He couldn't explain all this to me. I had to watch movement.
Yeah.
Roddy to Nip. Nip not telling Roddy everything, but Roddy's watching that.
Taking notes.
Oh, yeah. It's actions. It's how you move. It's okay. This is necessary. You ask my son today, who is your daddy? He'll tell you, man, my daddy handles business. Penn asked me who was my daddy. I told you first, my daddy handles business.
Yeah.
So that's a Dempsey thing.
Gotcha.
But don't want to get too far away from the subject.
All right, so back to the court case.
Yeah.
So you said you've gone twice.
Yes, twice.
And so that's not just 2 different hearings. That's 2 different court cases with multiple hearings, correct?
2 different trials.
Okay, and then how did they differ?
Okay, so the first one, like I said, was nerve-wracking. When I walked in, I had that mediation we talked about, and it happened within the first hour. When I was sitting in mediation on the first one, the lady was kind of like, okay, well, this is the amount you make. This is what we believe you could pay. And it was an enormous amount of money. Couple grand.
Yeah, a month.
Yeah, 1 child, couple grand. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, what? No, ain't no way. And I was like, look, the man in me said, you know what? I'd rather talk to the judge. Because if I'm going out on my sword. That's how I felt. Mm-hmm. Now, in that moment, not too many people know you have that option. I didn't even know I had that option.
But naturally.
I just naturally lined up, and I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go talk to the judge. Like I'm going to go talk to your manager or something, or like if you mess up my plate.
Higher up.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And man, most powerful move I ever made at that time. And talked to the judge, came at the judge correct. The judge understood because I didn't have representation the first time. And the judge showed me some love. She did. Okay. I don't want to speak on the terms, but I could have been paying a couple grand. I wasn't paying that. I was paying something very feasible for both sides. You know what I'm saying?
When you spoke to the judge, it wasn't like, hey, check it out. How did you approach the judge?
Definitely not. First of all lingo goes out the picture when there's business on the table. You can't represent yourself like a low quality $6 person. All right? You got to be high Birkin, man. All right, so you got to use your vernacular, man. You got to make sure that when you represent what you're looking for. So my pitch was like this. It was seriously like, ma'am, how you doing? Honorable Judge, I just want to let you know that I feel as if what the party has been receiving already is adequate enough for that party to be able to take care of the child. Now, I also share obligation for the child's expenses as well. So I believe that with the arrangement that's already set, that we should possibly be able to continue to do that, because who's to say whether me and this woman might get back together or not? We don't want the court system to be the reason why a family is broken. But that's what my game at. And I'm gonna take that chance all day. I'm only gonna see this lady one time, you know what I'm saying? Right. So, I'm gonna sell her whatever she wanna hear, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know if we, I don't wanna say that loud, but this is how you look, man. You gotta make sure you understand, like you gotta put things in perspective where a person has to take it into account that you are an active party that's doing.
Right.
All right. And if you don't, then yeah, man, you leave yourself to look like under pressure, you are a broken man. You are a party that could be ran over. Yeah, you're a person that will give up on your obligation if it got too stressful. You can't look like that. You got to look strong. You got to don't look nothing. You got to be strong.
And that goes back to what you said initially, like starting the physical first. Start with self and and then secondarily the child. And once that exists in reality, then we can start to push toward it existing in the two-dimensional world of paperwork.
Right, because like again, you're talking about full on custody, full on legal, physical custody. I mean, it got to be a real reason why those folks, and you know who I mean by those folks, go ahead and grant you as you full, responsibility for a human being. You know what I mean? Mind you, you didn't get to say more than 4 words in the whole court case.
Gotcha.
So why did you get what's going on?
So the first court case resulted in split custody?
First court case resulted in, it was just so, at the time, it just was a child support hearing. It was actually no custody.
Okay, gotcha.
So the custody was still kind of up for grabs, so it was still like a 50-50 thing. But it was an arrangement placed on that. So the judge really she kind of overstepped at the time and did something I'm not going to say she wasn't supposed to do, but was supposed to leave to another court case.
Gotcha.
Because she talked about arrangement when that's not really what that court was supposed to be
talking
about.
Money here and then time over here.
Right. So, know that if you were in there for child support and they're talking arrangement, that's completely different. Arrangement at that time had to been set already. So, therefore, now we're determining what's going on. But if they're talking arrangement being set at a child support hearing, no. You know what I'm saying? That's when, you probably need to contest that because, we don't know what the arrangement is. It legally hasn't been made yet.
Gotcha. Okay. And is that what happened in the second court case?
That's what happened in the first court case.
No, the second court case was also about custody? Or?
Yes, the second court case was the first time the custody came up now.
Gotcha.
Because remember, the first court case was about child support.
Gotcha.
You're young. You don't know. You think this is all one. No one's explaining. You don't have law background. So you think this is all one. Now you older. Now you know a little bit more. You know the differences, the differences between the two. Now you file correctly. Now you get things in order, and then boom.
Gotcha. Okay. How did you feel stepping into that second court case?
Oh, very, very, very ready. All right. So I was very ready. I was ready for a minute because it was a chain of events that happened that I was already like, man, I want to do this. I'm going to go ahead and do this. But I had some resentment because that had happened to me. Mind you, I'm the kid that just went through that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so I know how I felt about it. I know how it made me feel about certain things. I know the repercussions of it. And I didn't really want that for my son. My goal was to have a boy and do better for him and put him in better situations. But it sucks. He kind of was in a similar or same situation as I was in. It's just that now, on my end, I'm at a further place at the time than probably where Pops was, going through what he was going through because he was coming back.
Gotcha.
I'm in the lead. So
yeah.
It's like, why would you even play yourself?
Got you. And that's all in reference in terms of your personal life.
Yes.
Yeah. No need to dive into deeper, but I understand what you're saying.
So, on the second case, I was ready and I knew that, okay, piece of game here, that the original case had a file number. I had to go make sure that file number, when filing my paperwork, was the same file number from the first case, or they would have denied my paperwork. And it would have been another 3 months before I possibly got seen again. I would have had to pay the lawyer again, the whole 9. So it's important to know to use the original filing number or the original case number when refiling so that they continue the case, all right? Or they will kick your paperwork out, all right? Watch it happen to 2 or 3 of my partners already, all right? So just something to know. But second term, now it's 2 separate cases. We talking about custody and then we talk about child support. And then, the custody side of things, it was a situation that happened where a person that made a decision that was best for them. And I just don't know a time in life or a time in human history when you decide to make a decision that's best for you and only you, that ends up being a positive situation. Mm-hmm. Right? Village, it takes a village, all these terms, all these things that, be said over the years. When you decide what's best for you only, you're taking a chance. And that's not always a winning percentage type of chance, man. You got to decide what's best for the group. You got to decide what's best for the gang. You got to decide what's best for the village. You know what I'm saying? And that's always going to be more prominent in your wins than anything else, I can believe.
Got you. And no need to dive in deeper on that note. Yeah. But I will ask, what was it like when you got word that you got full custody? How did you feel? How did you respond?
I'm going to keep it real with you. I want to touch on something else before I say that.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk about the gap between the time when I seen my son to the next time that I did.
Okay.
So mind you, we play ball. I tore my Achilles playing ball with him. I had to show him. I had to let him see what the game was, because I'm 34, 35, probably about to be, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna play no more like that. Mm-hmm. And I want him to see, like, okay, son, this is the type of player that I was, you know what I'm saying? This is the type of player you about to be, because he just getting started. So yeah, I'm showing him the game, tearing my Achilles, bro. Tearing my Achilles because I feel like everybody came after me. I feel like the world came after me because I was hurt. And they felt like, well, he hurt, he can't do nothing. And that's all of a sudden happened. Man, I see August 10th, last time I seen my kid until October 15th. So I was crushed. I ain't been on my son's face like that ever in his life. I ain't been on my son's face for more than 2 week period. And that's only because of a business trip that I got to take. Mandatory. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that was insane. In that time, I want to encourage any person to stay strong in that regard. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And you got to know that it's always going to work in your favor when a person makes a selfish mistake like that. So that's me to you. And I hope, you know what I'm saying, that settles in for years to come, that, man, you know, hold your head high, because it's promising days coming when somebody make a decision like that.
Mental health is a huge part of this, like that battle, you know, because it doesn't happen overnight. So you have to have the wherewithal to navigate the ups and downs and even physical ailments, you know.
As a person who almost woke up on a Monday and wrecked his life, I tell it, man, I love my wife. I tell you all the time, man, I love my wife, man, because, you know what I'm saying, she the type of woman that's going to check you if you wrong, for sure. And ain't nobody you can step on. So I woke up one day, tore up leg, I can't move, I can't get around, I'm just mad, mental health gone. Talking them nonsense, yeah, man, she corrected that immediately.
Yeah.
No need to even do, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate it, because my mom ain't here no more. And if I had the opportunity in my mind to just run crazy, it probably would happen. Yeah. But I surrounded myself with individuals that keep me sharp.
Yeah.
So in return, you know what I'm saying, I appreciate the wife for, like, you know, checking me in that regard. And that started my recovery right there. It just made me check myself, made me come off that high horse that I was on. You know what I'm saying? And now I have to realize that, like you said, now we got to get back on defense. You know, now, okay, all right, wait a minute. All right, so we here now. Everybody coming after me. I'm hurt. I can't move, but they think it's over. Man, my heart's still working. All right, cool. Let's get back on the ball. You know what I'm saying? My son gone. I ain't seen my son in months at this time. Ain't letting the person, you know, the person got the Apple ID connected to his phone. So every time I text him, person know I'm calling. You know what I'm saying? Person text from their phone through the Apple ID on his phone to answer a question for him like he talking. This is the wildness that you go through.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even have real contact with my little man, and I ain't been on my little man face in years like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that I want to encourage everybody to know that it's good to come back from. And it's promising days, because God don't like ugly. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want to touch on that.
No, it's important, though, to stay the course when the child is not around. You are still a father. When the child is not around, you're still bettering yourself in the physical. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that better days can come.
Right. Not wrecking the reputation with the kid. Don't get to arguing with the woman just because you mad about the situation. No. Don't assassinate your character. Don't assassinate your true champion in front of your child that's watching you. You gotta remember, he or she ain't gonna never forget this. Don't assassinate yourself in front of your kid. So, case if it do actually fall in your direction, that person don't be scared of you now. Well, who is this person really? You know what I'm saying? You want that confirmed for them of who you are as a parent, and who you are as a, you know, father or a mother to that child. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, keep that argument stuff out the way of the kids. You know what I'm saying? And just handle your business, man. Let the action speak for you. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the results gonna say everything.
Yeah.
Prior and in the present. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, the results. How did you react when you got the word?
So when I got the react, man, I cried, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I was in Vegas at the time. You know what I'm saying? I just had, you know, I wanted to take one more trip before I started to go back to work. You know what I mean? So I was in Vegas at the time of the actual hearing, and I was coming back that day. And so, when the judge read out the verdict, I just was like, whoa, it happened. It's the most euphoric feeling you can feel, because you know you handled your business. Now I feel like my daddy. Now I feel like what he showed me, you know what I'm saying, I have reciprocated in the world. You know, now to my family, I'm like my daddy. because I've now in return did the same thing that he has done when it mattered for his child. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, man, it's a euphoric feeling that you can't describe, that you continue to feel because you watch the child continue to thrive, especially in, you know, in my personal case, I'm watching my son do his thing, playing a sport that I love.
Yeah.
So, you know, I continue to keep celebrating the victory, and I continue to keep feeling the victory, brother. I can't lie to you. Best piece of business I ever handled in my life.
Handle your business, man. But what's the conversation like with Pop, your son?
Oh,
about this specifically.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep it real, man. You know what I'm saying? I very, very, very thin on how much information I share about court cases and things with him. Very, very, very small. I just want him to understand perspective. Like, look, Papa, you know what I'm saying? Actions are everything. I'm teaching him lessons through, you know, things like trust, you know, it's action based. All right. You can't trust somebody, you know what I'm saying, or, you know, who just talking about what they do. You know, you got to see it, man. You got to be a result there over some type of time. You know, if not, it's a dream. And ain't nothing wrong with dreaming. It's just dreaming ain't happened yet. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, trust is an action thing, Papa. So, you know, hey, if you got to be somewhere and you trusted me to get you there, hey, that's based on how often I come through on you. That's based on how often I come through on what's important to the other person. It's how you build the trust. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I teach them lessons through it.
Got you. Yeah. Metaphors and, like, I mean, using it as a small example for larger metaphors or larger things in life.
Because I can't really be like, well, this is the reason. Nah.
Yeah. You would probably lose them anyway, right?
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? I mean, nah, because, you know, he shares his experiences. Yeah. And he lived it. You know, like I tell like my cousins and my family, you know what I'm saying? Hey man, you can't tell my story, baby. You know what I'm saying? I lived it with you. You can't tell me now what wasn't popping when we was 7. Yeah. I was there with you. I seen you do it. You can't tell me, man. So, you know, same thing with him. I can't tell him different than the story that he already lived. I just could I could help him understand perspective, you know, early. These terms, these words, what that is, what that means. You know, son, that's just based on, you know, how you perceived it at the time. You know what I'm saying? But this is the reality. Reality is you still get a chance to keep going. And what you going to do now? What you going to do now determines how big of a problem that was. It's a big problem if it stops, small problem if you keep it going.
Gotcha.
You feel me? Installing leadership at all times. I'm jacking all day. All day long. You know what I'm saying? I can't help it. That's how I got it.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Any advice to share with the audience out there?
It starts with you. It starts with self, man. And you know what I'm saying, you gotta be built inside out, brick by brick. Can't be paper mache, built like an egg, hard on the outside, soft on the inside. You gotta be a shark. You gotta be a savage. You gotta be a beast about handling your business. And you can't play with nobody. That's the number one thing I want to make sure you understand. You can't play with nobody. If you out here to be played with, you a joke. And if you a joke, you're going to continuously get harassed. And if you like harassment, then yeah, keep going. But if you're a serious person, you take care of your business, you make sure your obligations are handled, and you're not just talking it, you living it by action, yeah, man, then, you know, blessings are going to be reciprocated in your way, man, in your world. And your kids would see it, your nephews and nieces would see it, you know, how you conduct yourself, it'll be in your character. You know, the best advice I can give you is just take care of your business, man. For real, for real. Don't talk about it, be about it.
Don't talk about it, be about it.
Factos. That's what it is. That's what I can tell you, man.
Thank you. Yeah, a lot of wise words were shared today. So the good brother Dempsey coming from the city, coming out here to share some light on fatherhood, but also life in general, man. Some words of wisdom, man. I look forward to the book. I look forward to the book for sure.
Definitely, man. House 9, man. We gonna put it out. You know, I feel like it's just gonna be good for the world to see that experience. I mean, I hope I can make it into a movie. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because then, you know, there's several parts. You know what I mean? It could be a series, just kind of like 50 doing.
Yeah, and just keep breaking it down.
That's all he doing.
Yeah, I mean, more to come. Thank you again. Signing off. My name is Pendarvis Harshaw. You've been listening to a podcast for Pops, brought to you by Dad's Evoking Change. Look forward to more stories like this. Yeah, peace.